definitely worth your time. I would say this is where I would go first. If I was an adult rider and I was just learning, this is a great place to start. There's no question about it. This is a really good scooter. Price is good, and you can have a ton of fun, you know, just buzzing around. They are easy to transport. I've got quite a few scooter examples that I've ridden. This one is by far one of the best. All right, dead random here. Another box. Let's see. HYB20 Sisigad. This should be cool. All right, let's check it out. Small box, more than likely, probably a scooter. So let's get this thing unboxed. And we'll grab a knife. Yeah, I've got several of these controllers right here. Little charger input, 120 volts. This is a 2 amp controller. 1.5 2 amp is very common. So we'll set that out. And electronic manual. Like I said, don't lose these screws. This is one thing that I've been very lucky in transport, that these screws make it. So we've got screws, we've got the wrench right there, get an Allen key wrench here, hex key, and we've got our Sisigad app. So we're going to go ahead and launch this app when we start looking into the features. Let's go ahead and just open up the box, or the instructions. All right. Oh wow, good. So this one does come with it's very interesting. We're going to look at that. We're going to look into that. But a front suspension system. Usually they come with a rear suspension system, so you get some good flex. So let's see. Arrow Maxplus. Arrow Maxplus is the name on this one. It's got 10-inch wheels. Most of the questions I get are, what's the maximum load? It says 220. I am a little bit heavy for this one. 7.5 amps charging time, 36 volts. This does have pneumatic tires. It says 45 PSI tire pressure. Most parents that buy scooters for their kids, they don't want pneumatic tires because they're a pain in the butt. Disc brakes, electronic brakes. It says plus electronic brakes. I have no idea what electronic brakes are. So it must be, well, I do. Actually, when you let up off the throttle, the motor actually drags, and that helps you stop. That's what I believe it is. Maximum range, 21.74 miles. Anything else in here that of note? No. I'm guessing the electronics are going to be a lot the same as some of the other, yeah, pretty much the same. This does have folding neck, which they pretty much do, so you can transport them. So we'll look at that, but we're going to really deep dive into the features of the Sisigad Arrow, the Arrow Maxplus. So this is what we're looking at. hopefully I don't strip the screw. And these have little lock washers. So I'm just gonna kind of hand align these. Try to get them lined up. Want to leave them a little bit loose, so you have room to move them around as you try to align all 4 screws. There we go, those 2 lined up. Got 2 more on this side. Well, they gave us a bunch of extras. I'm hoping those are extras. Oh, no, wow, there's a bunch of screws on this one. This one's got 6. Yeah, there we go. Get them all seated. All right, we'll get the hex wrench, take that extra screw right there. So Sisigad gave us an extra screw. We've got the deck is a little slippery. Wow. Be nice if it had some grip tape. A little bit slippery. I'd rather have that more grippy. Thumb throttle. We've got front and rear brakes, which is always a plus. And then it says it has dynamic braking. So once we let off on the power, it's going to also brake for us, which will really be helpful. All right, so what we'll do is we will check the tire pressure. You seem pretty good. Let me get on here. Yeah, we'll take it for a ride after we get it charged up. But there it is. Okay, there it is. Sisigad Arrow Max. All right. Love new scooters. They're so much fun. Let's check down the foldability. So this is looks like the lever that will catch and for folding. Let's see. Push that down. Get that out. And yep, that goes like that. So you don't catch anything on the top. All right, so this one basically has a catch in the center, just like that. Really like the red details. All right, we'll be back. Sisigad Arrow Maxplus. All right. Oh man, the workout this morning. All right, heavy duty. All right, Dad ran him. All right, Dad ran him back with the Sisigad Arrow Maxplus electric scooter. Let's look at some of the features that I think really make it stand out. So for sure, these pneumatic tires, okay? Load rating 45 PSI, or at least load pressure. Says you can definitely haul a big person. I've had scooters of this type that I'm a 250-pound rider, have no problem riding. The deck, the only thing about this thing I would say is a little bit kind of sketchy right now is the deck is very smooth. Like when they cleaned it, they made the deck like extra smooth, which is not, I mean, we'll have to definitely do something about that. So maybe some grip tape on there is all I would add. Dual front suspension. And that, of course, is going to help for a larger rider, but this is going to have a very smooth ride compared to other scooters. We do have a front-facing light. We've got integrated electronics, and we will show those off on our ride. Now the hub motor, it says 36 volt, 450 watt. Okay, so that's key right there because most of them are 350. So this one will peak out much higher than that, which will make it much easier for me. Rear, I guarantee those lights light up. These are rear brake lights. You've got reflectors on the side. You've got this very unique system to lock the neck in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and illustrate that. Get this neck in here. So to assemble, you just pull that up, just set that locking part up. There's a little clip, and then just press and lock in place, and this is your release lever. So there it is right there. Very cool. All right, let's look at the opposite side. So we're gonna pick it up, we're gonna swing it around, check out the braking system. Like I said, I wonder if you can adjust this down, this kickstand, but it seems like it's gonna stay. Let's go ahead and get close to the brakes. All right, so you've got these nice red calipers. Let's see how much play there is. Wow, there's not much play. That means that when I barely touch the brake lever, it doesn't engage. Right there, it's engaging. So very good. Here's the front brake, similar. Very, very good. Yeah, everything's really smooth. Everything has been oiled for transport to keep it from rusting. There's just a smooth, so you might want to clean that off. I would definitely clean the deck off. Integrated kickstand, and there's your charging port. So, all right, Sisigad Arrow Maxplus. And we'll look, like I said, we'll get a down view of the electronics when we take our ride. So here's a good example of a part where in another version of it, this is probably where the handlebars lock. So let's flip it over and look at the underneath of the rear of the suspension. You can see the springs in there. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a look inside of that. Here is the suspension. You can see there's dual springs in that right there, which I would say is a good thing. And the battery compartment is, let's see if I can find some battery information. 380 watt hours. So, and then you get the actual model number designation. So right here. So there's the HYB20 and 380 watt hours at 36 volts. So that is the specs. Everything seems good. Like I said, we should probably check our air, but it probably seemed really tough. I don't mind. I usually press into them. I don't mind a smoother ride. So it says we can put as much as 45 pounds in there. Maybe we should check those before we ride. All right. All right, Dad Random. And we're gonna get this thing ready to go, ready to roll. Let's go ahead and flip it over. And, all right, Sisigad. There it is. I would say from the outset, looks really nice. I'm hoping that its ride performance is equal to its looks. So to get it in high, of course, you double press to change modes. Medium, low, which is like a walking mode. Medium, basically high. All right. So I'm left-footed, so let's go. All right. And as far as like my weight is concerned, I am what's considered to be a heavy rider. So going downhill and braking, this thing has been just absolutely phenomenal. So as far as acceleration, very average. I would say it's not quite to the level of the 350. So this is definitely a 450. I truly believe that they've got this marked well as far as speed is concerned. But going uphill with a big rider like me, I'd say we might get 15 miles an hour, and this is not a very tall hill. So is that, when you're left-footed, is that normal or is that goofy-footed? I can't remember. I think right foot is forward is goofy foot. So all right. But braking is great on this. We've got an excellent set of brakes. So going uphill, I'm not going to get more than maybe 15 miles an hour. Probably have to kick it a little bit every once in a while if it's a really steep hill. But it is a nice ride. This is definitely, I'm definitely 25 pounds heavier than this scooter is supposed to basically carry. So if you're a 6'4", 250-pound rider, this is probably not the level for you. But it's a great scooter. I love the suspension, and the brakes are some of the best. And this does have electronic braking. That means that if you let off on the gas, if you let off on the throttle, it's going to automatically brake. So this is just a short ride. This thing is supposed to give you about 12 miles on a charge. So about 12 miles. I would say with somebody my size, a lot fewer. But very maneuverable. We'll get down here and we'll do the braking test. So I use an Insta360. So going downhill, wow. Yeah, so you can, when you're coasting, it keeps your speed. It kind of gives you, like I said, it gives you dynamic braking, which is cool. They call it electronic braking. So if you're wondering why I'm not wearing a helmet and all geared up, I just don't. I like to ride without all that crap on. So really nice. Wow. Like I said, I like the softer tires. They are much better for like city riding, you know, just really maneuverable. Okay. Super maneuverable. Okay. And you want a fast brake, this thing will stop like no problem. That was excellent. Excellent. So this thing's got just really nice brakes. Is close to what I would consider to be hydraulic brakes, even though they're not. They're definitely mechanical brakes. But it seems like the more I've rode, sometimes it takes a couple of battery cycles to really get the most out of the scooter. This is only its first battery cycle charge. So, and you know, like I said, I'm like really happy with just how well it runs. You know, the harder tires don't give you a really good cornering. This thing gives you great cornering. Larger field of view so you can see more of the scooter. I every once in a while I'll do a shot. Here, I mean, I can do a side shot here so you can see the. All right, she wants to take off, doesn't she? So this will give you more of a view. See the suspension working. So I remember I'm only working one brake here, guys. So, and then we'll do hard braking. That's just front brake only. I can't do rear brake. Maybe I can. Let's see if I can do hard braking front and rear. Yeah. So great brakes, and you notice that they're not squeaking. That's really awesome. So yeah, you can notice it's a little bit tougher to maneuver when you're not when you're But anyway, great scooter, just a lot of fun. Like I said, mid-range, this would be a great commute scooter. You really don't want to go super fast to be safe. Yeah, a lot of fun. There's just no, let's see, have I lost any bars yet? Yeah, I've lost 1 bar, and I've gone, okay, let's see how fast I can go. Here we go, let's go. Let's get as fast as I can until I get to the stop sign. 16, 17, full speed stop. I can get to 18, going slightly downhill. So yes, Sisigad Arrow Maxplus, definitely worth your time. I would say this is where I would go first. If I was an adult rider and I was just learning, this is a great place to start. There's no question about it. This is a really good scooter. Price is good, and you can have a ton of fun, you know, just buzzing around. They are easy to transport. You know, you can stick this puppy in the back of a car easy, and you know, it's definitely commutable. A little heavy though, you know, if you're a commuter, you got to be able to handle 40 pounds. This is a 40-pound scooter. Do they make them lighter? Yeah, but all right, that's it. Dat random for the Sisigad Arrow Maxplus. See if I can get up over here, do a little maneuvering. Let's see if I can get, oh yeah, easy. All right, I want to get in here in the next to the flowers here. All right, Dad random Sisigad Arrow Maxplus. I've got quite a few scooter examples that I've ridden. This one is by far one of the best from this cool head label. Now, the only thing that I haven't been able to do is I haven't been able to hook this up to my app. All my other scooters I've been able to hook up to the apps. I have not been able to. I do not know why. So if you are a rep of this company, let me know. But quite amazing. Here, let me get this thing out in the sun where you can really get a good look at it. So great scooter, a lot of fun. So do I recommend front and rear suspension? Yep. Yes. The more suspension, the less vibration to your arms and to your hands, and the longer you're going to ride. So you've got dual spring suspension inside, rear and front and rear caliper, disc brakes. Yeah, this comes with an X5 if you want a camera mount. So pretty nice. Front and rear brakes. A lot of them just come with one brake. So all right, for Dad Random, I'm out of here. And all right, check this one out if you're interested. Prices are good. This time of year, you've got lots of deals on scooters. You cannot find a scooter that won't be on sale. So pretty cool. All right, Dad Random, I'm out of here.